Think about it more often than you think.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We have to start. Good morning. Good morning. Siete.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm having a good morning. If people in the back would stop talking. Scotty Barner. Scotty Barner. Still talking, Scotty Barner. Josh, find a seat. Stevenson, find a seat. All right. Good morning. Hey, we're gonna finish. We did not finish this topic of last week, understanding the gender, the other side, and I felt like afterwards, I kind of felt like it's not a marriage. This was not a marriage class from last week. I know I brought in Ephesians chapter 5, and the whole reason for that was to just demonstrate the differences between men and women. And hey, how did God look at this, and how are we supposed to take care of each other within that marriage? So this isn't a marriage lesson. This is actually trying to help us understand relationships when it comes to our friendships. When it comes to, yes, it can apply to our marriages. It can apply to just people that you have in the workplace. How do we understand the opposite sex? Because this is a thing that we have to be able to do, and we need to do. I like the blue. Is that new? That's nice. And so, anybody read the Song of Solomon last week? I asked you guys to read Song of Solomon. Anybody do it? Raise your hand. It's not a forbidden book. You know that, right? Like, it's in the Bible, inspired of the Lord God. Anybody read it? Really? Oh, you guys are missing out. It's good stuff. There's one passage that I'm gonna use on Sally, even though she's sitting here. I'm gonna use it, and it says something like this: "Your teeth are like sheep from the wash, like little lambs or little kids or something." I'm gonna use that on her this week and go, "Baby, your teeth are nice." So, was it really? You're lying. That's God right there. That was the Lord. So you've been reading Song of Solomon. Well, you're right. We got to back off. What is interesting that when you read the Song of Solomon and you kind of go through it, we kind of leave it alone because we don't know what to do with it and how to handle it. I think Wayne Robinson probably did the best thing I've ever heard on the Song of Solomon. It was really a love letter. And the way he walked through it at our marriage seminar in a Bible class that Sunday morning was a fantastic job. But it's really interesting that when you read that and you read the things that is from that women's perspective through the Song of Solomon, what you're going to find is words of security, affection, emotional closeness that she wants with her mate, reassurance, a longing, verbal affirmation, and you find all of these things all the way through. What was interesting is on the other side, for the man emphasis, there's admiration, there's protection, there's pursuit, physical beauty. If you read Song of Solomon, it is very what he sees and what he desires. It's interesting. It's the same thing on the women's side as well. But what she does and what the writer does there, it not only talks about his beauty and the things that she admires of him, but she connects characteristics. So it's not just a superficial like visual. There's a whole lot more to it. It's weird when people come into the front row because I'm like, you're not in trouble. You can sit wherever you want. What you find is there's these differences even within the language of between a relationship between men and women. So last week, this is what we kind of covered, and I want to just go through it. Some of you were here, some of you were not, and sometimes we just got to kind of go through some of those things that we talked about last week. So when we talked about men, now remember in the book, this is written by the wife, and so I really appreciated that. And so this is the part that says, "Hey, women, this is what you need to know about men." And again, these are generalities, right? This may not be specifics for your relationship, but it could work really well. Men are not in touch with their emotions as women. Agree? Disagree? What do you think? Yes, absolutely. What's that?
What emotions?
Yeah. So that's interesting because the stereotype is we don't have them, but can one man raise his hand right now and say, "I have no emotion"? Well, we all have emotions, right? And we deal with them. And it's not that we don't have emotions, but for a long time, we actually don't know exactly how to express those emotions. I remember that the one thing that we were taught, especially by my mother, was how to control our anger. And that's actually what most psychologists will tell you, is that when we were taught as children, for men, it was, how do you control your anger? We're stop fighting, right? Because I had 3 older brothers, and there was a lot of fighting. There's a lot of holes in the wall and the ceiling. That's a fantastic story, actually, which I don't have time to tell you. But we were taught, how do you control that one emotion? Where on the other side, when I talk to a lot of mothers, man, when they have these little beautiful little girls, we're talking about a wide range of these emotions and how do you handle those emotions, okay? And so it's not that we don't know, we don't have them, but we don't express them as much. And so one thing that you need to know about us is that we can express them, we do have them, but you're going to have to give us a little time to kind of dig in and say, okay, what am I feeling? What can I understand? Okay. We just have I like what she said in this. We have a very small vocabulary for emotions, right? And so just hang with us. We want to explain that. We want to have that discussion with you, but just understand our vocabulary is a little smaller, and we have been taught to kind of not really to express them. So the point, you can't expect us to identify our emotions as quickly as you do. We have them. We want to explore, not really, but just give us a minute, okay? The next point that we made, so ladies, you need to understand that men are more independent than we are. I'm not saying that women are not independent, okay? When I married my wife, she was almost 30. She had her own house. She had a job. She was extremely independent. When she goes away for work, or if I have to go away for work, I don't worry about my wife. You want to know why? She's independent. I don't have to worry about her. She can handle things and she can handle life. I'm not saying you're not independent. I'm just saying there's an understanding that we are more independent at most of the time. Do you remember what we talked about there? You discussed this a lot last week. This is the one that I told you growing up, I was a mama's boy. Out of the 4, I hung out with my mom when she was cooking. I sat on the counter when my mother did everything. When we were in worship, I sat beside my mom. I learned how to sing by sitting beside my mom. I learned a lot from my mom. But there was a point in my raising is that I remember the conversation to this day. We're sitting in the kitchen. She's like, "Hey, John, just come on up on the counter. I haven't shown you how to cook this." And I was like, "I don't want it." Is it because I hate my mom? So what's the problem? Well, it's not a problem. What is it? I'm separating myself from her. I want my independence. I want to become the man. And I was trying to figure it out. And what I was gravitating to was my father and my brothers. It's not that I didn't love my mom. It's not that I didn't want to be around my mom. But there was a moment when I said, I understand this is not where I want to be. I need to figure out who I am. And I wanted to figure it out as a young man. And it's extremely natural, okay? She made a couple points in there that we really discussed last week that was really interesting to me. And I'm going to quote her. "The more fragile a man's sense of self, the stronger the impulse is to flee." So when we really don't know who we are and we're trying to figure out, we're going to run even more, right? And it's the crazy thing within relationships between men and women, I don't want to depend on you. It's not because I don't love you. It's not because I don't want this, but I'm going to do everything I can to say I don't depend on this relationship, even though we do on a deeper level, because as a man, we want to be able to stand. Are you with me? Okay. Last one. Do you guys remember anything about this one? Men are more abstract than we are, is what she says. How are we more abstract? Yeah, absolutely. So while a lot of women would like to talk about their fears, their feelings, experiences, we want to talk ideas, we want to talk concepts, and we really want to talk theories. I told you last week, the sociologist Deborah Tannen, she says what men do is report talk. What do you think I mean by that? What do you think she meant by that? Report talk.
Bullet point talking.
Huh? Oh, let me hear this one. I'm going to come right back to you, Lance. What was this one? I didn't hear it.
Bullet point talking.
Bullet point talking. Yes. Just give me that. Yeah, give me the points. Go ahead, Lance. Facts and figures. That's what we want. Because what are we trying to do within our conversations? What do you think we're trying to do?
Solve problems.
We're solving problems. That was like stereo, both sides talking about it. We hear the facts. What are we going to do with the facts? And then we're trying to figure out what's the solution to those facts. And so we will talk about our fears. We will talk about our feelings. We want to talk about our experiences. We're just not as vigilant to that as you kind of expect from your other relationships. So when we don't understand this, what happens to our relationships, ladies, to the guys we know, whether that's your husband, your best friends, your co-workers, etc. When we don't understand this, what happens?
Creates frustration.
Creates frustration. Why?
Feels like they don't care.
Feels like they don't care. Well done. I like it. Is that the frustration you're talking about, possibly?
Can be. I mean, it's just, you're not speaking the same language. Sometimes people want to talk through things and be heard and not always solved and fixed.
Okay, good. But yeah, what did you say?
It feels like they don't care.
Yes, it doesn't feel like they care. I'm trying to talk to them. You're not getting the information you need. We're not talking a lot. We're not talking about certain things. Okay, anything else?
Well, I think those first and third points are connected. I was thinking about this last week, that generalizations can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'll just speak from ours. Like, Kaylee needs to talk through her emotions process. I'm not willing to talk about emotions until I ask that. And so those are at odds with each other.
Absolutely. So if you didn't hear, like, so can I use you as an example, like what you said? So Kaylee is going to process speaking about her emotions. If you know Chris, as I do, sitting in my office more often than not, very logical, ABC equals D. That's what we need to do. And I can see that would be hard, and you had to figure this out. Hard process, easy process. What was it like? What is it like?
Still working on it.
Still, how many years? How many years have you been married?
16.
16 years, and he's still saying they're working on it.
The biggest thing for
Yeah.
us is our small group went through some personality book over the Enneagram and realizing how opposite we were.
Yeah.
It really cut out the middleman as far as like I was able to become less emotional, knowing that he wasn't secretly like harboring these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not how his brain works.
Right.
And so that was a big thing for us. It's a lot less frustrating now,
Sure.
but
once you learn and once you kind of come to understand, like, hey, this is how they're processing. If I take a step back and try to put myself on their level or how they're trying to process, maybe we can have a better conversation. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this.
Knowledge is power. you know?
Knowledge is power. Yeah.
Because a lot of, because we both understand each other, there's frustrations both ways, right?
Yeah.
There's times that I'm getting the novel and I want the quick notes. And it's a 30-minute story that I could have told in 2 minutes, literally, right? And it's like, these certain facts are always withheld till the end, where if I'd have known it up front, it would have made the story so much more enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong, it's just that's the way their minds work.
Yeah. No.
We're sitting at just about to crawl out of our skin.
Right now we all are. Yeah.
Or sometimes asking questions of, now is that Susie or Sue, or wait, you're changing, you're over here, then you're over there. I don't know who you're even talking about. Right? But then you interrupt the story and it's like, just, I will get to the point.
Sally and I are going out for lunch if you want to join us, because I don't think you're going home.
37.
37.
37.
And she's like,
Going strong.
still training at 37. Yeah, absolutely.
Knowledge is power.
No, hey, it's really true. We're laughing at this, but it's actually extremely great factual, right?
That's why I'm telling you, because we've lived through it, we've struggled through it at times, and, you know, that's just who we are. We are different. We
Yeah.
have to understand that.
I'm putting a sale on marriage counseling in the month of August. You know how like I have 4 truck month? I'm doing like marriage therapy month. And then I'm just-
Well, I think one of the things that men can do is they can be really explicit about what their job is in any conversation. It's okay to ask a woman, is my job to listen right now, or is my job to fix a problem? Do you need to be heard, or do you need me to solve a problem? Like when our daughter was up in the house, like when she was in high school, like I had to start almost every conversation we had with, is my job to listen, or is my job to fix? And it made it, I mean, just being that explicit.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It helped our relationship.
Absolutely. How many years?
Heather and I have been married for 26 years, and Catherine's
23. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, we got to move on. We will come back to the subject, I think. Guys, what do we need to know? What do we need to know about these things called women? All right, these foreign objects, these other planets we don't get. The first thing I want you guys to kind of understand that the women are not as independent as we are. So we have this idea. There was a guy when I was in Bowie. I called him the Marlboro Man because he was a cowboy of cowboys. He had the mustache. He had the walk. He rode horses. He did sorting. I mean, Tom Bates was the man. He's the Marlboro Man, and we love that, right? We want to be that cowboy to ride off into the sunset, and we want our being alone, and we're men, and we're roping, and we're shooting something, and that's what we want, right? Well, what's the difference? What's on the other side of that? What do you think women are more like? Carol Gilligan said this. Not Gilligan. I don't know how to say her last name. No, I think it's Gilligan. It doesn't really matter. She says women prize what she calls a web of connectedness. A web of connectedness. What do you think about that, ladies? Is that true? Not true.
A good friend.
You want a good friend? Absolutely. Anybody else?
When I meet somebody, the first thing I want to figure out is how can I connect? We know the same people, that we've been to the same place.
And she will Facebook you in a heartbeat when you walk away. I want you to know that. But Sally, she's right. She wants that connectedness to us, right? It's even funny because we find so many people that are connected to Post Texas, right? They're like, I know Post. And we go through it all and she's connected. And when you find out about those connections, those are important connections. When I find out that somebody is from Canada, I don't care what part they're from. You know, I saw a guy at Red River Family Camp, and he's one of the speakers. He's from Nova Scotia, so that's as far east as you can go. I'm in the middle, and we were brothers, right? Because that's that connectedness. And then, ladies, you have this incredible ability to be able to connect with one another. Just as we are threatened by the challenge to our independence, so are you when you're threatened by a rupture within your relationships, because you really want them to be connected with others. So a lot of times, guys, they don't understand our need for independence and maybe even space. right? We want to ride off in the sunset. We want to do our thing, but we need to understand that within that relationship, whatever it is, they want to be connected, and especially connected within that relationship.
I think it's like a huge need for just an example really that we've used recently. One of Noah's new friends at Harding, wore a can't believe it shirt on the first day of Bison Down on purpose so that
Right.
you could connect with people. And
Yes.
then Kate was like, that's the best idea ever. I'm doing that on the first day of LCU. Because she can walk around and just find all the people that she's
Exactly. Connections are so important.
With like, not gender identity issues, but gender issues changing, are these still, like, when was this book written? Are these still stereotypes today?
Yeah, they are. So the gender identity, man, that's another class.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying, not totally related to that, but the way the families changed with strong moms and strong.
2019.
single moms and stuff. I didn't know if these things.
19. Yeah.
The way I've heard
Yeah.
this topic talked about by some of my friends who even are, they would say that they're very independent as far as women goes. But what it comes down to is they still, like, those same friends are still the ones that are upset when their husband's working too many hours and they're left in the trenches of family life by themselves. They're like, I'm doing everything at home by myself and I don't want to be left in the trenches.
Right. That's good. That's really
These are
good.
Generalizations, I mean, there are always exceptions.
Sure,
And
sure.
sometimes independence is formed out of circumstance.
Yeah.
If you have a man who's not dependable and isn't doing things, you're going to step up and be more independent because that's what duty calls for.
Right.
So I think it is situational as well.
I have the question real quick, and you probably will talk about this later, but, and it's the same kind of question that you had. But how is the world affecting us on each side?
Yeah.
And who is it affecting more? Because to me, I shouldn't say that.
Hold on.
I'm gonna say it's affecting women more right now than it is men, and maybe it's not. I don't know if it is or not, but I know the world is affecting us in these type of statements that are being made or situations or however you say it.
Yeah, let's grab it at the end because I think that's extremely powerful because what culture is doing is honestly switching the roles big time, pushing equality no matter what. And are we equal? Remember, the answer is yes. We're made all in the image of God. You can go to Galatians chapter 3. You know, we're all one in Christ. We can go to all those passages, but understand also that God made us different. If you go back to Genesis, he made mankind, but he made them male and female. Jesus will tell us, and what is it, like Matthew 18, 19? And he says, and God made them male and female. So we are different on the psychological side, chemistry side, biologically side, and it is okay with that. Yeah.
There's a point when God made Adam first.
Yeah.
He made one first, he could have made him time, but he made a point, the person made first.
Yeah. And Peter talks about that as well. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this is what I want you to know. This is what you need to know. They need to hear whatever relationship this is. Again, they need to hear that you are in this relationship, that you value the relationship, and that you are trying to listen and let them know that you value the relationship, even though, hey, you might need to talk about needing that space, but you want to make sure that we connect. And the way that actually that Lance was talking about at the beginning, those are really great questions like, hey, I'm here. Do I need to listen? What's going on here? And being open and honest, I found in that side of things really works a lot. Women focus on the here and now more than we do. All right, guys? So someone defined the future as a place where men supposed to spend most of their time. The future, right? We're thinking like, what's the plan? You know, I need a plan for the week, what I need to do today to get really everything done tomorrow. That not always is that exactly true, but I think like that as well. I know this week we got VBS. I have a funeral on Wednesday. I got a softball game I got to figure out on Saturday. I'm thinking, I'm planning out the whole week, right? What are the problems I'm going to get? How do I solve them before I get there? And how am I going to be prepared when I get there? Okay. And so while we're scheming our plans and we're solving problems all the way along, because everybody's asking questions, right? And things, and we're thinking about a better tomorrow, what do you think women are asking? Well, they're asking, what's going on right now? How do I and others feel about this moment? Am I right or wrong, ladies? I heard 100% right.
Right,
Yeah.
because I think that, when people are like, what are you doing in September? I'm like, I don't know. what I'm doing in September. Like, talk to me about this week, Monday through Friday. I'm good.
Yeah.
Later, not gonna talk
See,
about that.
and I disagree because I'm the keeper of all things. And Caleb will call and say, what do we have this evening? What do we have next weekend? What do we have, some brick house? And I have to know
Right.
what's coming in the future
Right.
to keep him in line.
Well, I think that's similar for John and I, because John does live in the future, he knows what he's gotta get done, but I'm the detail of what do we have to do today in order to make that happen, like I'm thinking, Wednesday, it's Friday, but I'll put that later. But that's how we work it together.
And remember, this is not scheduling your colored calendars. This is how you think. This is the inside, not scheduling,
Right,
but
because
thinking.
I was thinking the same. Like, well, if you die tomorrow, we didn't get to spend any time with you today. That's what I actually tell them. Go do your things, but if you're dying tomorrow, we didn't get any time with you today.
Good
And I'm-
luck sorting those cows.
It's
Yeah.
So when did we vote for August therapy specials?
that was a joke, but I think I need to do it. You know, it's like I don't know. So what I want you to understand here, again, I understand what you guys, because some of you in here are really schedule oriented. I get that. I'm not talking about scheduling. I'm not talking about the calendar. I'm talking about how we think and how we process. And a lot of times through my conversations and what I found, and again, these are generalities. How are you thinking emotionally right now? How is your brain processing right now? And it's on the more of the emotional side when it comes to women. Then guys are being very analytical and trying to figure it out. We have
I agree with that statement.
okay.
I know. Simply because who is more likely to be the worrier or the anxious party is typically the woman.
Hmm.
It's true.
It is true.
At least, like I said, maybe for ours. And what is worry and anxiety? It is worrying about something happening in the future. Whereas, like for me, my base reaction is we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so,
But that's her emotion right now.
right.
Where is the emotion right now?
But it's about things that are that haven't happened yet.
Yeah, but it's unpreparedness for what's happening later, so we feel we're unprepared now for what.
This is what I love, because this is demonstrating exactly what this
I
point
think that's
is.
exactly what you need to take into account, because we said earlier, we had a discussion this week about financial planning in the future. But I feel like if you're gonna take the emotions of the woman's brain wired and connected into everything, she is in the present as well as the future.
Mhm.
If we're talking about something going on right now, a man's brain is in his box and we're discussing this thing going on right now. So she was trying to discuss some things that's coming up in a month, and I'm like, whoa, hang on, we're not even there yet. We don't even have steps 2 and 3 yet.
Mhm.
Let's wait till we get there before we get there.
But the
Yeah.
future is now because we're feeling it now.
I don't think it's as simple as breaking down worry as just about the future. One experience that I've had is it seems like we're worried about opposite things. Where our concerns, it's not that one of us is a worrier and the other's not, it's that I'm concerned about A, C, and E, and she's concerned about B, D, and F.
Yeah.
And those things overlap, and I think that's part of God's great design, because if
Mhm.
both of us take care of the things we're worried about, then everything is taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. When you come to this, when you come to any kind of situation, and maybe this will demonstrate this a little bit better, because again, maybe I said it wrong. When you're coming into a situation, the conversation I have with Sally is, how are they going to feel about it? I'm like, this is what I got to do. I'm going to get it done. And she'll come in and go, just understand this is how they're going to feel. There's some emotion to this. And it's really I'm going to give you an example in a minute. But it's the feelings and the thoughts behind things that sometimes we don't get, guys. So in a relationship, this is the beautiful side of it. If you're in a really good relationship, whether it's marriage or a friendship, or you might be dating or whatever it is, the communication of understanding what's going on behind the thoughts is so important for us to understand. Okay, remember, we're a report. What they're trying to do is have a rapport. We want to understand connections. Remember, you guys all agreed that women want connections, right? Well, what's that based upon? Emotions. You're connecting with people based on emotions, not just facts. Okay. And hey, again, these are generalities. So I'm just trying to go to do the best I can here. The bottom line, if you want to get down to task solving problems for the future with the people in your life, the women in your life, guys, you got to take into account that when they are exploring these things, they're going to explore with feelings at the very beginning and about the present of what's going on right now. Got to keep moving. All right, women are not as competitive as we are. Now sometimes that's false, because I play pickleball with Natalie, and she wants to beat them sometimes more than I do. And so, but let's talk about this. So when I was young and growing up, a house full of boys, when we played anything, it was I'm playing to win. I don't remember who it was, Chris. I was walking through the airport. We're coming home from Nicaragua. I don't remember. I think it was Addie, and we were walking through the airport, and she starts walking faster, so I start walking faster. Did you watch this? Were you there? I don't know. Okay, so I start walking faster. Well, she starts walking faster. I start walking faster, and now you're doing the speed walk thing. You doing it? You pumping everything? We had our backpacks on, and when we got to our destination, she goes, "Ha! That was so much fun." I'm like, "I won," right? Because that's a little bit of a distinction there. And I think she's competitive too, but we're kind of competitive by nature. And sometimes, hey, that's maybe not what's going on the other side of this thing. I like what he talked about in the book. And he said, little girls play together, play in small, intimate groups with the emphasis on minimizing hostility and maximizing cooperation. And then what he says is it kind of goes into adulthood as well. We're trying to create, again, that connectiveness. So if we want to build healthy relationships with the women in our lives, we must honor the cooperative spirit and take care not to step on their toes. So let's not do the competitive thing. Make sure we kind of take into account of this. I'm going to give one quick example of how I know this works. I have people, and I have opportunity to talk to people in my ministry. They come into my office and they start talking. When a woman comes in, I want you guys to pick out the problems that I may have in the beginning of my ministry. So when a woman came into my office and she wanted to talk, what were the mistakes I made? I've learned from my mistakes. So what were the mistakes that I made?
You said something.
But they want me to say something, but yeah, okay, I said something, yeah.
Maybe you started solving the problems right away.
Absolutely. She started talking, and I almost stopped listening because I was thinking, how do I solve the problem with the answer? Right? Because that's one big problem. Okay, anybody else?
You had a time limit. She didn't.
Ooh. Wait, what? What do you mean you have a time limit?
Well, I think King said 2 minutes as opposed to 30. He wants everything in 2 minutes and you can't.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm good. Yeah, you're right. Unpacking may take a little longer. All right, anything else? I learned facts within the relationship there and within this conversation, but you know what I had to learn? The emotions behind the facts. The facts were only a portion of the whole thing. If I understood the emotions and what was really going on in the background, and I put those together, I go, oh, that's the problem. Sometimes the facts didn't equal what was going on over here. She was upset over here, but it wasn't the fact. Are you guys with me? But when you put them together, I get it. Let's work through that. So I actually had to stop problem solving. And that's really, really hard for me to do because when you start talking, I'm already problem solving. Honestly, to move on to the next conversation so you are on the money. And I'm going to give you the solution. And maybe there's not a solution yet. Maybe we need to work through some stuff. And so even whatever relationship this is, when we understand the other side, and so If my wife needs to understand, like, why does John want to go and just be alone? Why does he want to go off and do what he wants to do? And he's not here right now. Well, maybe that's part of my makeup of understanding I want my own independence. I want to spend time. I need my time. And my wife says, okay, I get that. But then she communicates, hey, having your space is great. I want you to have that. But can we connect here at this time? Can you come back? We need you. You understand that? Wow, that's great communication, great for relationships. How is culture? I kind of want to, well, we're not going to get through the lesson. That's totally fine. How has culture, what has culture done to this? What has culture done to our relationships between men and women? What have you seen? What have you heard? I'm going to open it to the class.
I think culture tries to tell us that what we naturally feel is wrong.
Yeah.
And then we automatically think something is wrong with us.
Okay.
Because of the way that we feel.
Okay. Anybody else?
Like an internal battle of the nature versus nurture, because if you come in and you've been in a situation where the woman was not allowed to show any independence, then the woman will come in and try to be overly independent.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the breakdown of the family.
Sure. What's culture doing to the family?
Destroying.
Why? Wait, that was strong. So who said destroying it? And give me a why, Josh.
If the family's not strong,
Yeah.
nothing works.
Absolutely.
The country doesn't work, the church doesn't work.
Amen.
Nothing.
So what's the attack?
The attack is telling men to be more like women and women to be more like men, whenever we're very separate creatures.
There you go.
They come together and work really well when they're strong.
Yeah.
Independent of each other. You have a strong wife and a strong husband and you have a strong family. But if you have a weak husband and an overly strong wife, a domineering wife, that doesn't work. That's not how God designed it. In the same note, you have a way, like you were talking about, a way over domineering husband where he pushes his wife down.
Yeah.
That still doesn't work.
Sure.
Our television right now is telling men to be weak.
Our television now is telling men to be weak. Okay.
Be passive. Don't worry about it. Don't challenge it. Don't challenge the narrative. Don't stand up. Sit down.
Okay.
I think it's, culture is also suggesting that marriage doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
that you can live together and you can have these children, but it's so much easier to walk away. Or yeah, you can go ahead and walk away. And then that's a broken family.
Yep.
And it's putting out there, but it is okay.
Yeah. You're hearing all of these things. I've had conversations with I had a conversation with a young lady, really sweet girl. And she was living with this guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm curious, why you guys aren't married? You've been together for a long time. You've moved from California to here. What's going on? And she was like, I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that I love him. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna do it anyways. That piece of paper doesn't tell me that I love my wife either, right? But she was like, yeah, but if something goes wrong, can you finish it? I can walk away. And I was like, man. And I tell you what, later on, something did happen. They did part ways. And she came to me and she goes, you know what? I didn't want this relationship to end, but there was nothing holding us together because we left it open-ended. So the world is actually telling you marriage is a throwaway thing. It's just another relationship. The breakdown of the family is constantly being attacked. If you don't know that, watch Focus on the Family a lot, and you're going to figure it out really quick because there's a lot of stuff on there. And so relationships are being attacked because if you can break down relationships, especially between the man and the woman, no matter what that relationship is, you're going to win. So culture is playing a huge role. Parenting, there is attacking parenting today, right? And we could talk about that a lot. I have one quick question before I leave today, because I don't have time to come back to this subject again. Can men and women be friends? Yes or no?
Like in marriage or outside of marriage?
Outside of marriage.
I think it's very tricky.
Why?
Because especially if you are married,
Mm-hmm.
the risk is that you start turning to a male friend, looking for what you're not receiving in your marriage.
Very
Or
good.
you start turning to your female friend for what you're not finding in your wife.
Very good.
And then feelings can evolve out of that.
You know, I think I have male friends.
Sure.
But there's nothing in that relationship that John doesn't know.
Yeah.
There's no message, there's no text messages, there's nothing that he doesn't know. And he's open to, and I think that's very important.
Okay, so let me give you the bottom line of what they came up with in the book. The answer is yes, you can have male and female can be friends. Absolutely yes. Because sometimes you get a different perspective, right? There's positives within that relationship when it's a healthy relationship. I mean, I've had close personal female friends come up to me and say, hey, John, you're an idiot. Do this for Sally, right? I needed that friendship to say, you're not seeing it right. So is there positives? Absolutely, because those people can maybe talk to you, can have a close relationship, and they can talk to you about the other side, and you may be able to say some things to them. So that goes from guys to girls and girls to guys. Can it happen? The answer is yes. But what you guys are talking about is extremely important as well. So that when we come to this and you start relying on that friend instead of your husband or your wife, if you're married, it can become romantic. Who do you think falls for the romantic side first? When you have this relationship where you start relying on one another a little bit more, who will see it as romantic first and deeper?
Women.
Huh?
Women.
Guys.
As
Guys.
romantic or as sexual?
Both.
I'm embracing my emotional side. I don't think they're the same.
Okay. So I love you guys. I don't think so. I was like, I'm going by the book. Okay. We actually can fall in love a lot quicker. Now, can it happen both ways? The answer is yes. This is something that has been told to me in ministry for decades. It is very simple for women who I'm poly counseling can fall in love because I'm listening to them and I'm giving them some of the things that their husband is not getting. So we have to be very careful of that relationship. But we become more physically and emotionally at the end. We're like, hey, I think I'm in love. And she can really easily say, no, this was just a connection and be very different. So it's interesting. So it kind of depends on how you see it. I'm just saying overall, the main statistics will say that guys will fall faster than the lady does. Interesting though, right? Can men and women be friends? The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. But please be careful with that because when you start looking at these other things that we're talking about and you're finding that within your relationship, if you're married, and then you find it within your relationship somewhere else, that's not the bank you deposit in. You deposit into the bank of your marriage, no matter what, right? And it's a really good thing. Like what Sally was saying, I have full understanding of what's going on in her life as she does in mine as well. Any questions, comments? I know the second bell, I got to let you go.
I would add on to that. Any opposite sex friend that you have in your marriage, your spouse must be friends with too.
I was gonna say that.
Great idea.
It doesn't have to be as close.
Yeah.
But there has to be a relationship
Yeah.
there because if I have a relationship with another woman that my wife doesn't, that's how affairs start.
I had this conversation with Susan Clayton. She has I wish John was still sitting here. She has a very, very, very close friend from I know hot college for sure. I think beforehand as well. And they are extremely close. But you know how she ended it? But he does live in another state. You know what I'm saying?
It's safe for you.
It's a safe. But also, all four are very close friends. So going back to what you're saying, they're all four close friends. She goes, I hear what you're saying, John. And if he was in Canyon, would that be different? Would I have to be more careful? See the difference? Man, it starts making you think. All right, guys, great job. No homework because you had it from last week. We'll go over the true and false at the beginning of next week. God bless. Take care. Glad you guys are here.